just released. Once again, I go my old buddy. That's Buddy Jr. That's old Buddy Jr. Buddy, hey, you don't can the camera, buddy. Buddy, look, you don't can the camera. That's old Buddy Jr. My old rabbit, one of his old kids, hanging out, still surviving. Wild dogs and stuff was all out trying to catch him and eat him. They be after them rabbits. You got some humans too be after them, trying to get them. Buddy, hey buddy, look, buddy, look at the camera. Pretty rabbit. You on camera, buddy. They watching you, buddy. He's getting big. He's getting big. But where I left off on my story, things was changing in my life. I was known for fighting, and some of the kids, they didn't want to come down this street, this Monticello street I grew up on. This is where I grew up at. This is the street, and if you had to come down this street, you had to fight. Park is down that way. And we had many fights down there. We had many fights. We had many fights. And it was a mess. So I was Andre at the time. And then I started getting fat. Started getting healthy, most likely. And they started calling me Fat Boy. Well, Fat Boy was a fighter. I had the older guys get all their little brothers, and I beat up all of them. I'm telling you, I beat up all of them. Then they had one guy, his name was York. He was a York. And he had a bunch of nephews he used to go get from South Union. And I would beat up the little one all the way up to the fat one. Beat him up. I'm serious. I would beat him up. Hadn't lost a fight. Nobody had beaten me up at this time in Alameda Plaza. And not even at the school. And I fought older guys. And I don't know, I was just good. I boxed the PABA for a little bit. Studied up on the little karate. I just couldn't handle the exercise. The exercise used to wear me out. And then my father, he wouldn't back me. My mother and my father, they was doing their thing in their days, and they just wasn't so caught up on the academics for kids. I played football, I played baseball, and I was good in everything that I done. So one day I had a fight with one of my girlfriend's uncles, and I was whooping him. And I remember, I'm young, but I'm over 10 years old at this time. At this time I'm over 10 years old. But I beat the man up, and the man pulled a jack on me. I took the jack from him and beat him up. He probably was drunk, but I whooped him. From that day on, they started calling me Cassius Clay. Cassius Clay. I bought a bike from a friend. Older guy, he had got to that age he didn't need bikes no more, so he sold it to me. So one day I was at another friend's house, and we all had our bikes parked outside. And so somebody said, man, all our bikes gone. So when we go out there, all the bikes gone. So when they come, it was our other little homeboys. They done took our bikes without asking. So when they came back, the guy I bought the bike from, little brother on my bike. I said, man, what you doing on my bike? Man, it's my brother's bike. It's my brother. Say, man, it's my bike. I bought this bike. So he just went to bumping, and I beat him up. I fought this boy for about 4 days because he had 2 other older brothers. So after that fight, the older brother came and brought him back. So I beat him up in front of his older brother. Then I was at home. Here come the other older brother with him again. And when we had these fights in the neighborhood at them times, it'd be girls, it'd be a whole crowd. You know, back in the 70s, that's how it was. Everybody came out to see the fights. And when I tell you I beat him up all up and down in the street. But we had a good fight right here on this corner where that stop sign is, in that yard. Right on the corner right there. We had a good fight. He kind of had me tied. And there's a girl stopped the fight. So it was kind of like a tie that day. The next day I had to fight him again at the park, and I demolished him. That was our last fight. Called him Cheesecake. And I demolished him in front of everybody. When fights took on, and back then, it'd be crowds of people. Families fighting families. Well, I didn't have that. But things, like I say, started taking a change. When I was 10 years old, I went to jail with a friend of mine. We had just come from Buffalo Speedway's Olympic pool. And he said, man, let's go ride up to Wiener's. And we rode up to Wiener's. And we went in there, and we both had money. He went in there and stole the shirt. And the man caught him. And the man called the police, and they took both of us to jail. My first time ever going to jail, 10 years old. And I never forget, my father came and got me. When I came home, he fed me. Went to sleep that night, my mother wasn't home. So when my mother came home, I was asleep when she came home. But the next morning, I heard her getting ready because I had an uncle that was in the county jail in the rehab. And she was telling my daddy, she said, yeah, I had to go out and see Herman. He out there at the rehab yesterday. He said, well, yeah, I had to go get one of your boys out of jail last night. She say, what? One of my boys? Who? She say, Andre. 10 years old, I'm in jail. She said, and woke me up. She say, Andre, I'm gonna beat your ass, boy. Don't you go nowhere when you get out of school, because I'm gonna beat your ass. And I haven't even done nothing. From that day on, of me going to jail, my mother never whooped my ass for going to jail. She would whoop my ass for anything else, but never whooped me for going to jail. And as a juvenile, I went to jail one time for the Wiener's incident, one time for stealing a bike, 10 times for breaking and entering of homes. And before I was 15, they told me, because I used to go and get out. My mom would come and get me. Told me by the time you get 15, Wade, you're going to be in state school. I say, no, I ain't coming back to jail. And it'd be like I'd be going back to jail. It was just one of them things, a locked up thing for me. And I had a lot of dreams. But to end this here right now, at this part of the story, my first loss was at school. And it was by a girl. She beat me up. And I mean, I was fighting it. I was in the 4th and she was in the 5th. And we was fighting, and I tried to do karate. She did karate. I'm talking about got on my butt. Years later, they ended up being my girlfriend. Ain't that something? How fate is. But once again, Andre Wade, and I'll be back with some more of my story we just released.